What did you think when I came out? Did you question your own queerness?
No. Well, I mean, okay, like I kind of knew that I was attracted to women like from a very early age.
Right.
I actually told Jacob and he was like, oh, even earlier than Raye. I don't know when you started questioning your queerness.
Not till college.
Oh, so I questioned it way before.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I did make out with a girl when I was 12.
Oh, right.
I buried that memory so deep down that I was like, that's not real.
That's what friends do.
Exactly. It's normal. They just experiment because they want to see what it's like.
Exactly. Practicing.
They practice for the boys.
Practice for the boys.
Exactly.
I've done a couple practice for the boys.
This is so important.
Practice
you should keep practicing.
Practice for the boys.
I just need a lot of practice. You know what I mean?
I love that. That's so funny.
When everyone says like, oh, are you queer? I'll just be like, no, I'm just practicing for the boys.
All lesbians are just practicing for the boys.
Basically, I have been living under war-like conditions for 11 months.
Yeah.
And that brings a lot of challenges emotionally, primarily.
Yeah.
Mentally. And I'm not working. So it was just like, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And right. And so the Jewish holidays are coming up or are like literally around the corner at the time of this discussion.
Yes.
And in Israel, like it's very common to leave for like a month and like nothing's going on, you know, in the country.
Yeah.
Work kind of
So
stops.
like so it just felt like
because Becca's coming from Tel Aviv, in case listeners weren't aware of which war you were referring to.
Right.
There are a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple
There
of
are a
wars in the
couple.
world
It's
right now.
true, yeah.
Could have been Ukraine.
Okay, great. So that gives more context. What was the work you were doing and what do you want to be doing?
I was working in a fintech company.
Iconic Israel.
High tech.
Yeah, high tech.
High tech.
Doing like biz ops, strategic initiatives type stuff.
Becca's a very fancy business consultant.
I love all those words.
It's all bullshit, basically.
She works in bullshit.
Basically.
Wait, everybody, this is my sister, Rebecca Schiller.
Huge.
She's on the podcast.
Probably the biggest guest we've ever had.
Oh my god, for sure. I had the biggest following and the biggest. People were dying for me to be on this podcast.
Everyone was yelling.
Yenta-ing, you might say, for this podcast.
And she's hilarious.
God, she's good.
Welcome to Yenta, everybody, the podcast that's sometimes about comedy, sometimes about Judaism, sometimes about queers, and always about gossip.
Wow, you included all
I just did it, yeah, because Becca's Jewish and queer, so we can put both.
I'm a full package.
We have my sister, my best friend. We shared a womb at a different time.
At different times.
Yeah.
At different times, but we shared it.
We are not twins.
We're not twins, but everybody thinks we are.
Yeah, you could be.
We have very similar expressions and mannerisms and voices and laughs.
Oh my God. Laughs are identical.
And everyone says that to me, and I say, wow, I'm so lucky.
Do you ever hear each other's laugh and think like, that sounds so dumb?
Yeah. Like, oh shit, that's what I sound like.
I feel like, I'll speak for myself that I feel like I know my laugh is very loud. So in that way it's dumb, but I don't know if I hear as much the similarities as others do between our laughs.
Sometimes, like the other day, we literally said the exact same thing in unison and then laughed in unison.
Oh, really?
Do you remember that?
Yeah, but what were we talking about?
I don't remember at all, but we just like...
I do recall this.
I
really want us to do, you know those like TikTok trends of like twins behind a door and then they ask them questions of like, raise your right hand, go in a circle.
Yes.
And then it's like, you see if the twin telepathy is a thing.
Okay, wait, let's do that right now. Close your eyes. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Wait, I just want to make sure we're rolling. Becca, is that one rolling? Can you tell?
If it's just recording.
It just is a record.
Yeah,
okay.
Recording.
Okay.
Sometimes I forget to press the button. Okay, closing our eyes.
Okay, close your eyes.
Okay, wait, I love this.
Okay, make a heart.
Wait, we're holding a mic. Should we just put the
Like
mic
with
on?
one finger?
Yeah, with one finger.
Yeah, I don't really get this game.
Okay,
I'm just putting the mic
blowing
down.
it. I'm trying to think of better prompts. Okay, do a physical impression of each other. I'm running out of prompts. Shit.
Should we do some TikTok research?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know the game. I don't know the trend that you're talking about.
We'll come back
to
to
you not
this.
know the trend?
No, I do know the trend.
Yeah,
but it's like wave, like raise your hand.
Yes.
Okay. Close your eyes.
This is an auditory medium.
Yeah. Shit.
But which also has video.
And I feel like it's gonna be. You'll just be able to hear.
Maybe you have to describe to the listeners what's happening after we do it.
Well,
we're gonna scratch it.
We'll scratch it.
Anyway, Becca's visiting.
Becca, I'm so excited to talk to you because you grew up in the
same household,
same trauma, same gossip.
Yes.
And I want to know all of your takes on it. First of all, you're queer and Jewish.
Yes.
You grew up in an Orthodox household.
Yes.
How's that going for you?
I'm here now, so far so good, you know?
Well, maybe talk about your coming out, because actually Becca had way better coming outs than I did.
Did I?
With Dad.
Oh, okay.
Wait, which one of you is older?
I am.
You are.
I told her to guess.
Guess, Antonia.
So you paved the way.
Yes,
I
100%.
paved the way. And you know
I
what?
will give Raye credit.
I never
where
get
credit
any
is due.
thanks for that from anyone.
Literally just said I'll give credit where credit is due.
That wasn't a thank you, but sure. Yeah. It was.
Yeah. So what was your perception of what happened when they came out, and then what was it like when you came out?
Okay, so well, because we both grew up Orthodox Jews, I think it's like there was a coming out of like we are no longer Orthodox Jews.
Mm-hmm. That was the first coming out.
Yeah, and then it was a coming out of like queer Jews.
Yeah.
I will say Raye came out as non-religious or starting to be not religious when I was in seminary in Israel.
Huh.
And I think.
Yeah.
And that was like a big deal.
And you were like, oh, they're a heretic.
No, I lied. Because when you came back from Israel, you were like gung-ho, so religious.
Yeah.
And then.
I know.
Oh, she was like. Sorry, they were like.
How dare you?
They were like so
Turf.
gung-ho about it.
Yes.
And it was really like I was taken aback by it, and I was
I annoying? Was I really
100%? You were like Eitan.
Was I? That's my other brother who's very religious.
Yes.
Was I very judgy?
I don't recall you being judgy. I just recall like, who is my sister kind of energy.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Well, I was brainwashed a little.
Yeah, you were. It felt like you were totally brainwashed.
Well, that's kind of the goal of the seminary.
right.
100%.
Yeah. Wait, do you have any examples?
Am I holding this well? I feel like I'm holding it weirdly. Like
you are
stiffly.
holding a little weirdly.
Okay.
And I am picking up some of the audio of you moving it.
Okay.
You were talking about how I was very judgy.
Well, I don't know. Again,
sorry,
I don't know
how
if
I was
would
very
say
religious.
You were extraordinarily religious, and then I was going.
What were they doing that was like out of normal?
I remember the biggest thing I remember, which is actually funny now because you're sort of still like this, is like we were at the Shabbat table.
I haven't changed.
They would make us do Zmirot, which is like the singing.
Yeah.
Like all the time. And I was just like, girl, I want to go like to my room.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this, you know?
And I'm still just as religious.
And you still are sort of like that.
I love that that's your definition. I see how that is, like, because it's not actually observant of anything.
Right.
But it was they were much more still like stringent.
But that's why it's extra religious, because you don't have to do it.
Don't have
it's
to
just
do it.
an
So
much
optional thing, but I love it because I'm so religious.
No, and you're dressed more religious.
Yeah, I wore the skirt.
Yeah, they wore the skirts. And also Raye was like growing up, Raye was more
Wait, Becca, you have to move the mic when you move your mouth.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, it's a lot.
Okay.
But we should it's
You
just
can
like
even
I need
rest
media
it on
training.
your chin,
I need media training.
if
Yeah.
that's helpful.
Okay. So, what I was cut. Okay.
nice, she's taking my job.
Okay.
She could be our producer.
So, also growing up before Raye went to Israel for seminary, you were always much more like upset with the skirts and upset with the dress, and you were fighting mom a lot more about like wanting to get out and wear pants and things like that. And I was never really like that. So then when they came back from Israel and their skirts went from like here to here, it was like
she's pointing above her knee to her like ankle.
It was like what is going on, you know? So I would say it's the dress and then the religiousness.
That's good.
You were much more stringent, yeah.
So then what was your journey?
Wait, so then in Israel, you were just now going back to normal when I was in Israel.
Oh, normal, as
quote
in
unquote, like
less religious, but still religious.
Yeah. And then I would say like what, your sophomore year of college, you came out as queer? Mm-hmm. Something like that? Mm-hmm. And I had gone to college. Mm-hmm.
You were at your freshman year.
I was in my freshman year.
No, but you were a freshman when I was a junior.
So then around when I started college is when you came out as queer.
Right.
Is what I would say.
Okay. So maybe like junior year.
Something like that. So how that relates to me.
Yeah.
Or should I?
No,
I don't know.
Talk about you because
no. We want to hear.
What did you think when I came out? Did you question your own queerness?
No. Well, I mean, okay, like I kind of knew that I was attracted to women like from a very early age.
Right.
I actually told Jacob, and he was like, oh, even earlier than Raye. I don't know when you started questioning your queerness.
Not till college.
Oh, so I questioned it way before.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I did make out with a girl when I was 12.
Oh, right. I remember.
I buried that memory so deep down that I was like, that's not real.
It's that's what friends do.
Exactly. It's normal. They just experiment because they want to see what it's like.
Exactly. Practice.
They practice for the boys.
Practice for the boys.
Exactly.
I've done a couple practice for the boys.
This is so important. You should keep practicing.
Practice for the boys.
I just need a lot of practice. You know what I mean?
I love that. That's so funny.
When everyone says like, oh, are you queer? I'll just be like, no, I'm just practicing for the boys.
All lesbians are just practicing for the boys. That's so funny.
So funny.
I'm gonna make that a bit.
So sad.
How old were you when you were like aware of queerness?
Well, I guess it's like when I was going through puberty, like 11, 12, because then I would like start watching more like romantic, sexual sort of movies.
Yeah.
And I would always gear towards female on female. Mm-hmm. And then that gradually moved to like porn, and I would only want to watch.
You watched porn?
Yes.
My virgin ears.
Wait, you watched porn like before college?
Yes.
Wow.
Like
that surprises you?
Not.
I did not.
I started watching porn probably like 12.
Good for you.
Becca, I had no idea. That's amazing.
Knew how to find it.
Yeah, how did you know?
Well, first, like I said, it was really gradual. It went from like female on female sexual movies,
right?
Yeah.
To
like what?
Like The Perfect Ending. Have you guys seen that?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Oh my god, you guys are on like the lesbian movie situation. The Perfect Ending was a big one for me. I remember all these other ones. There was like this like British Pakistani actress who would be in a lot of lesbian movies. I feel like if you have a lot of lesbian queer followers, they'll know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right
the
in.
one who was in Bend It Like Beckham. I don't know if she's Pakistani or Indian.
I'm pretty sure she's Pakistani, but I could be wrong.
Is this the same? Parminder Nagra. Is that
should I Google it?
I'll Google.
I've never seen her in other content than like lesbian movies.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I remember the OC, the lesbians in the OC being huge for me. But even though I loved
the OC,
she was Misha Barton and young Olivia Wilde were lesbians on the OC, and that I used to like sneak watch. You know, that was my porn.
You know who else was a big for me for lesbians was Cersei
from Game of Thrones.
Jessica Clarke is in A Perfect Ending.
Yeah, that's how I found her.
Oh yeah. But that's not
that's
not the Pakistani woman I'm talking about.
We'll find her. Okay, so this is really great to hear. And you had enough freedom on the internet that you could access porn.
Correct.
Okay. I love your family.
I don't understand. Did you have...
No, not her.
Because I didn't have a computer in my room. You didn't have a computer in your
phone.
room.
Or my iPod. I had an iPod. Yeah, iPod. Do people know what that is?
Like an iPod Touch?
Yes. Wow. With Wi-Fi.
Okay, yeah. I guess I didn't have
I don't really remember the medium. It was always on my phone. Actually, no, it was on my laptop at some points.
Honestly, horny teens will find a way.
Yeah, exactly.
But I remember I didn't have a phone till I was... Maybe you got it younger than me, but I didn't have a phone till I was like already probably junior year of high school or something.
But you know what? I have memories of the house in. I have definitely distinct memories of watching porn there. I have less distinct memories watching porn in the house, but I know that I did. So I don't know. Maybe I was just young.
I love this for you. Okay, so what was your
Oh my god, I'm kind of nervous. Is this gonna be on this is really gonna be on the internet. Okay, it's fine.
Wait,
it's okay. We don't have that
many
listeners.
We could put this on the Patreon. Wait, listener, this is part 1. We're gonna do part 2 on the Patreon where Becca's gonna talk all about porn.
Perfect.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay.
What was your perception of Raye coming out?
Because you already kind of knew you were queer.
That's the thing though. So I okay, so we have to finish the story. So, and then I'll answer your question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I was watching stuff, and then I had distinct thoughts internally of am I lesbian? Because I love this stuff. And I was just there's no way. I can't be. I cannot be. I was an internal freak out.
Wow. Yeah. How old were you?
The same, 15 to 17 probably. Wow. And then I think my first experience, it was senior year of high school. I think you definitely know the story.
Yeah, I was gonna.
And our parents had separated that year, and my dad was living in an apartment building. And it was senior year of high school. We're all saying goodbye. So it was we were all very close as a grade. I went to an all-girls school as well. An all-girls modern Orthodox religious high school.
The one in New Jersey?
In Queens, New York.
Yeah, we went to the same one.
Okay.
Yeshiva University High School for Girls. Shout out.
Correct. So then I invited I basically kicked my dad out. And I was I invited 20 girls over to the house, to his house. And we were all drinking Four Locos and going really crunk and whatever.
Crunk.
Is that not cool to say?
Yeah, I haven't heard that word in 17 years.
And then we all we're practicing on the boys, we all go in the circle, and 5 or 6 of us are all making out, and then everyone is watching. The rest are watching. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, it was yeah. But then so that was that. But then everyone was going to sleep, and then me and this other girl went hot and heavy in the bathroom for longer. So
this
that was
incredible.
That was that was my first
queer.
But then that was a great experience. I liked it, but it wasn't oh, I'm a lesbian. You know what I mean? I didn't have those thoughts.
You still thought you were straight.
Yeah, I still thought I was straight. I couldn't
for the boys.
Yeah, pretty much. And then when Raye came out, I think most of my thoughts were about how it's so different from how we grew up. That what is that? How do the two connect? Do you know what I mean?
How can you be queer and Jewish?
And
Orthodox.
Yeah, because you weren't really Orthodox then. It was just the world that we came from. It just wasn't an option. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a possibility
to come out.
So I was still in that world.
Yeah.
And all of my friends knew Raye because we grew up so close together. And we would have sisters with the same high school. Our sister, there were sisters that we were both friends with.
A couple families where they had 2 girls that were sisters that were both our ages.
Yeah.
So we were both friends.
So were you worried that people were gonna judge you for
having
a sibling who
and
was
they
queer?
did.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
You never told me that.
Really? I remember distinctly in Israel when you were coming out as not religious, I felt the need to defend my religiosity to my friends at some times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you annoyed with them for messing up your cred? Because I would imagine that's a very normal teenage thing to be.
I think I don't think I was. I think it just felt like whiplash a little bit.
Yeah.
At the time, it was change for a number of years for you, Raye, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh God, this is so funny because I feel like if you watched now in your adult life, if you watched a friend go through all these things, you'd be like, God bless. But there's no one who likes change less than a sibling. You're like, just be normal. Just be yourself. I say that as someone who has 3 siblings.
Right.
Like,
I thought you're one of 3.
I'm one of 4.
Oh, you're one of 4.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I know the judgment of like, pick a lane.
Pick a lane. Exactly.
Pick a lane. Stop embarrassing me with
Yes.
all of your bullshit.
Right.
Because everyone's bringing it up to me.
Yes. Oh, 100%. And also,
What
by
did
the
they
way, not
say?
just with Raye, like also our religious brother.
Yes.
You know, so many times, what's Eitan doing? What's going on? You know, like it just kind of, the whole family gets it, I would argue.
Yeah.
You know, it's just because siblings are intertwined. What?
I never get it.
Yeah.
I never got any of my friends being like, wow, I can't believe Becca's queer.
What
Like,
about Becca moving to Israel? Or Eitan being crazy Orthodox? Or Yonatan being a fuckboy?
Or maybe
You might have to cut some of this stuff.
Disappointment. So
I also...
I'm the worst one. So nobody
what are
asks
you gonna
me.
get?
It's true.
Maybe you're just so like out there that no one would ask you to explain the others.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just so crazy.
Like you're just not like, I would have to explain you to like the average Joe.
right. Because you were normal.
Right, you're way more respectable than Raye.
Exactly.
No, I was. Wow, Becca. Honestly, you were always so supportive, or my memory at least
Good.
was that you were always like pretty supportive, or you never came to me with being upset at what people were saying about like that people
Right.
were judging you because of what I was doing.
Right.
But what were they saying? They were just like, I can't believe your sister's not religious.
No, it was never like that aggressive, I would say. It was just like, it definitely was judgy. I felt like I felt this like, especially in the, I don't know if you've experienced the like Orthodox community, but there's a lot of like undercurrent to it. Like a lot of things.
Subtext.
There's a lot of subtext to everything that goes on in that community, which I always really despised.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that going on with your religiosity, is
Got
what I
it.
would say.
Got it.
Yeah.
I can imagine that. Little comments. So your sister is doing her
Right,
thing.
exactly. And
That
I
kind of
still
stuff.
get that, by the way. You know? Yeah, because you're very online.
Yeah, now it must be 1,000 times worse.
Well, no, because I feel like almost you're so transparent and online that like there's like the undercurrent, it was like shattered. You know what I mean? There's like the don't ask, don't tell. You can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? It's so out there,
And that's what I love about it.
which is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying this as like a
No, I
like
know.
a criticism at all. It's just like this is the situation.
It's actually one of
Yeah.
the reasons I love it so much because it's so freeing.
Yeah.
It's like after years and years of living.
No, 100%.
In like secrecy, you can. Now I'm just. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's really beautiful because I still struggle a lot of times with that like undercurrent, that like secrecy, that
Yeah.
like being private.
Yeah.
You know, I would say I think as humans we struggle with that, and definitely as Orthodox Jews or ex-Orthodox Jews.
Yeah.
It's just like this like whole world of judgment and not being and like being able to not be afraid of people's judgment. Like I still struggle with it, and it took me like years to have it not like be debilitating.
Yeah.
You know, have it not like change my actions. Do you know what I mean? Like now it won't really change so much my actions, I would say. But, you know, we still struggle.
Yeah.
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 I'm sure you're going to have those little voices in your head
Yeah.
forever, and you'll just get better at telling them that
Just
they're
shut the
idiots.
fuck up. Yeah.
Twins.
Wait.
Love that.
So you didn't. So when did you come out?
Okay, so basically, wait, we're talking queer. We're talking Judaism.
Yes, queer.
So then, okay, so basically I was center. So I basically, I mean, to the family is the question?
To yourself, and then
Okay,
the
to
family?
myself. So to myself was, I took a trip with friends in 2018, 3 other girls. I shouldn't be so descriptive because what if they see? But actually, okay. Because recently I met up with her and I told her that like I had a huge crush on you. So like she knows now. But yeah, I basically like had this huge crush on this girl on the trip. And I was like, what's going on? Because I'm like not into women. And she was trying to convince me that I'm bisexual. because she identified as bisexual at the time. And I was like, no, honey. But I was so obsessed with her, like so into her. And then there was like a night where I was like, should I make a move? Should I try and kiss her? But I was like such a baby gay that it just wasn't, you know. And then after that trip, I was like, okay, I'm obviously not fully straight. Like I'm bi-curious or whatever. And then that was in January of 2018. And then in August of 2019, that was in January of 2019, excuse me. Okay. And then in August of 2019 is when I met my first girlfriend. So it was like 6 months later. So then after that trip, I went on like dating apps and like, you know, like it was with men, but I also added for women, but I never really met anyone on these dating apps like in between. And then I met my first girlfriend. We dated for like a year and a half, something like that. Like it was like very intense, a little toxic, whatever.
Sure.
The whole
classic lesbian
situation.
Codependent.
And then I told like their name is a name that like if you shorten it sounds like a man's name.
Let's say like Stephanie and Steve. But not
Stephanie
really.
and Steph maybe.
Yeah.
Is more. It's not. That's not the name.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, we have to figure out how much I'm putting of this. You see the judgment, the anxiety.
Yeah.
No,
this is. Is it really obvious?
No, it's
just
normal.
It's normal. Because
Okay.
you literally just told us that you have the perspective of the judgmental.
Yeah,
Orthodox
it's still there.
Community in your head.
Yes.
Now I see.
Yes, it's still there. Unfortunately. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so their name was like a name that you could shorten and it sounds like a man.
Yeah.
So I would tell people I'm dating this person named, and I would only use like non-binary terms. Let's call them Steph for this scenario. Yeah. And then I told my family, like I was so in love with this person. And I think the only person that knew it was a woman was Raye.
Can you believe that? And
yeah.
I kept it a secret.
No, aside for like some friends, we had mutual, I met this person through mutual friends. So the mutual friends did know, of course, you know.
But in your family,
yes,
it was just you.
In my family,
was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my whole life.
Yeah.
Jacob still yells at me, but he's like, I cannot believe you kept that a secret.
And you kept it a secret for months.
Yes.
Like it wasn't a couple days.
And
it was
I was like in my like, I'm queer, everyone's queer. I was like such a huge
evangelist.
Yes. And like I couldn't, and I was so proud and I was so happy for you.
Yes.
And I couldn't tell anyone.
You must have been like, I raised a baby gay.
I know.
I birthed a gay.
I birthed her. No, she did it all on her own. But it was very hard. So even though I have a podcast called Yenta, I'm very good at keeping secrets.
Yes.
Good for you.
I'm amazing.
You did.
Wow.
But you did.
But I was very upset.
Me.
I was very actually.
You did
I was
pressure
very
me to
upset.
come out.
I did.
Yes.
And
many
times. I take accountability for that. And I mean,
I understand why you.
There was a lot of layers
I don't think
to it.
you're a terrible person for doing that.
It was like I was then lying to my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. To hide Becca's
I put
secret.
you in a rough position. Yeah.
And it was like so hard for me because I had this crazy hard journey of coming out, and then I felt like I was almost going back in the club. Even though I wasn't, but it was like you. But I was like so right. It was my principle. I was like, I'm not gonna be in the closet. I'm not gonna let anyone be in the closet. Not let anyone, but I'm not gonna like help someone stay in the closet.
I feel like there's also another element here, which is like I was halfway around the world.
Yeah.
Oh, so we fell in love in Tel Aviv.
Oh.
So this is all
Israeli
happening.
lesbians.
It was an Israeli Colombian. They're not a good mix. You know? Should I not say that? Israeli and a Latin. It's not a good mix.
Maybe we'll cut that too.
Okay, yeah, cut that.
Yeah, we're sure that there are
I just
plenty of people of that demographic
that are wonderful.
Just
aren't
because
toxic, but they were toxic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we were toxic together. I won't say it was like just their fault. You know, and you could totally choose to cut this, but what I mean by the Israeli Colombian is like I feel like they're both very like hot and like like lover kind of cultures. So if it's both, it's like too much. You know what I mean?
Look, everyone's different. There are a lot of people from those cultures who don't fit in those boxes.
True.
But I hear you.
Yes.
That their culture had a big impact on their personality.
Yes.
And then also as the lesbian part. The lesbian culture.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
lesbians
is-
were happy to stereotype.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then anyway, so my coming out, so I was in Tel Aviv, and then I come back to New York in November of that year, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And I still in the closet, but my family knows that I'm dating this person named Steph.
Steve.
Uh-huh.
And then my mom picks me up from JFK, and I'm like, and I was like telling myself I'm gonna tell my mom when I'm like in person.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just gonna like tell her at some point on my trip, and I just like could not let it. I couldn't even hold it in. So I was just like in the car on the way home. We like get into the driveway, and I'm like, Mom, I need to tell you something.
Oh
And I'm like,
God.
Steve is really Stephanie. And she like, because for months she was hearing about Steve, and she like, she was like in shock. She didn't like freak out like in a negative way. She was in shock.
Have you dated any men since?
Yeah.
Are you interested in dating men?
I date both. I
Yeah.
probably date more men.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But mainly because of like, it's just easier to find men that I want to date.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're just, the
There's
numbers are better.
Correct.
There are
Yeah.
more
Numbers,
men
yes.
interested in women than women interested in women.
Yes.
So
exactly.
yeah.
Oh, so then, I mean, I can talk about this. It's controversial.
What are you going to talk about?
Well, okay, so then should I finish the coming out story? There's so many stories we should finish.
Yeah, we're here for all of it.
Well, okay, I just want to say that when I came out to Dad and Yonatan, because
Yeah.
that was also
what
really
happened?
funny. So but again, so I came out to my mom, and then my like no one knew, like only my mom knew, and then Raye, and then the boys in the family all thought it was Steve still. So then we went to visit California in like January of 2020, like right before the pandemic. And we're sitting at this bar, and they're talking to me about Steve, and they're like, oh, you and Steve are so in love, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I have to tell you guys something.
Oh my God.
And we're like at this bar, and I told them both, and I was like, I'll tell you guys something. And we're like sitting at the bar, like on the high stands, and I was like, Steve is Stephanie. And they both looked at each other and just started cracking up hysterically. Like it was like not like laughing at me, like laughing at me and my coming out. Just like it was so unfathomable for them that I was dating a woman, because they knew that like they've heard so much about Steve. And then they were like, oh, it's Stephanie. Like it was so incredible for them. Like they couldn't imagine it, you know?
How did you feel when they were laughing? Did you feel like this is a good thing, they're laughing? Or what was your perception of it?
I guess I was very scared, obviously. So I think I'd rather the laughter than like
Yelling.
Yelling.
Yeah.
And my dad was much more like, I think they both said like, oh my God, I'm gonna have two queer daughters. Like that was definitely a part of the conversation.
Both my parents, 4 daughters-in-law.
Yeah.
That's what they don't.
Yeah, that was definitely part of the conversation. But yeah, my coming out was because I was in a relationship, more so than like this is like I'm out,
Like
you know
this
what I mean?
asshole.
Yeah. So I feel like
but
it was
you had
different.
a better story because you got to be like, Steve is Stephanie.
It's such a
So
dramatic. So
So
dramatic.
well written.
Good.
So dramatic. I'm a bit of a drama queen. I feel like even in like romantic relationships now, like if there's not this like drama to it, or like this like it's toxic, which we accept, which we're working on in therapy.
Yes.
But if it's like too stable, I'm not interested in you.
This goes back to our ick conversation.
Yeah.
But if it's like there's this drama, will they, won't they, you know, like I want you but I can't have you energy, that I will eat you up, I will be with you for years, you know what I mean? It's a problem.
Yeah, I hear that. You got to figure out a way out of that.
I know.
She said it.
It's funny because it's like you could do whatever you want, like that's your energy, like you do you, like all cultures,
like very
figure that shit out.
You gotta get it together.
Yeah. I agree.
It's funny because I feel like we're similar in so many ways, but this we're very different on.
Yes. Like this you don't struggle with, I feel.
Well, I'm curious to hear your thoughts because my love life definitely is chaotic and like. And we can wait. I think we should transition to our Patreon, but to tease the Patreon, we're going to talk about your throuple.
Kind of great.
Your throuple,
which
my
we
God,
broke up about the throuple.
Yeah. Yes, Becca's in a throuple, and
the drama. You see what I'm saying? The drama. This is a good example.
Very good example of the drama.
This is going to be so juicy.
Patreon.com/Yenta.
How do I heal from this problem? I don't know how to heal.
You'll find out on the Patreon.